Stop it. Okay, I call this meeting to order. Bam, Stephen. So you all know this is recorded. AI will transcribe minutes along with Bill, who's recording
This
this.
is just a backup. Hey, something happens here. That's all this is.
Yeah,
It
so,
works. I killed this one.
so when making a motion, please, or approving or seconding, please tell us your name, acknowledge who you are, and then AI will take care of it from there. Opening by Phil Phillips, Vice Chair. Call to order. I did that. Roll call.
Sandy is absent. Phil is here. Erica is also not here. I'm here. Ron Schultz, I believe, is called in.
He's not gonna be here.
Dan's here.
Here.
Thank you. John is here, the treasurer, and Bill Westwood is here also. We've got a call.
Can we, have the board accept the absences as excused?
We were gonna talk about,
We were gonna talk about that.
Okay.
so we're gonna address,
It needs to be addressed.
Right.
It wasn't before.
we're gonna formally address the
Right.
excusing of absences at the
Okay.
end of the meeting. So,
Thank you.
roll call is done. Pledge, please.
Oh, look, a flag.
He appeared.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Was our meeting noticed?
Yes, yes.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of our June 18th meeting?
John Hallbacker makes a motion.
Do I have a second? Do I have a second from other board members?
Bill Westwood, I'll second it.
All right, if this is how this is gonna go, it's gonna be a long meeting.
It's already gonna be long.
No, this is not-
No.
Okay, so any comments to the minutes?
Always provided 4 updates to the minutes. We made those, as you requested. They were just minor, but they were just updated typos and things like that. So I make those updates. Any other fundamental things that we need to do?
So the corrections that were made to the minutes in hand were Scribner.
Well, yeah, so it was 2B, quorum wasn't checked.
Well, actually, I was gonna bring two
And
people.
then 2E, Gavin, I misspelled your last name. We got the last name spelled properly. 5A2, the FIXA, I had a fat finger and I didn't type out FIXA properly, so that was corrected. And then on the very lowest is on section 10, Andre, speaking bureau, that was a misspelling there, so we got that corrected. So those are the 4 updates I had. So that was on 10.
Everything was Scribner.
Yeah.
Yes,
Not, you don't need to be any more thorough.
Okay. So that was, so
Anything else? All those in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
thank you.
Introduction and announcements. I'd like, since I'm acting chair, I'd like to thank John and everybody for running the meeting last month when Sandy and I both were not here. Thank you very much.
I'll never do that again.
I'd also like to acknowledge that Nancy McKibben being here tonight just reminds me that you all are aware of the centennial celebration of the Palm Harbor becoming Palm Harbor. This is its 100th year. It was Sunderland, but the naming of Palm Harbor happened 100 years ago.
It was
So
Sutherland, wasn't it?
it was Sutherland, yes.
Sutherland.
Yeah, I said Sutherland.
Yeah, Sutherland.
Scribner. And this Saturday, the 19th, there is a downtown Palm Harbor at the J.C. Craver building.
No,
No, what's the 19th?
just it's, this is Nancy McKibben speaking. From 11 to 2, there'll be a kickoff celebration at Harbor Hall with a marketplace, food trucks and things like that, activities. Okay. And then, there is a pop-up exhibit at the J.C. Craver building from 1 to 5. Thank you, BJ. And this is a pop-up exhibit with some artifacts and things, a step walk back in time. Palmer Museum is doing that, and then from 6 to 9, there is an evening celebration of Top Stansel Park. Music, family friendly, it's all free, live music, food, and fireworks. Come out and join us.
What if it rains?
It's not going to.
Is Commissioner Scott doing the reading? Is he coming
Commissioner
out?
Scott will be at Harbor Hall, we're gonna say around 11:30 to read the proclamation that the BCC, I don't know, approved, whatever, on June 17th.
So I use my time for introductions and announcements just to bring that to everybody's attention, not to fix it, just it'd be nice to have, that you guys could be there if you so desire. I mean, it's not a one-time thing. There's a lot of other things that happen around the celebration that will go on the rest of the month. Yes?
Yeah, we're gonna integrate, I mean, the centennial is for the year of 2025, so, we'll be, taking every advantage to, acknowledge that throughout the rest of the year.
Okay. So I tie that into, are there any public comments other than that? I kind of brought Nancy up to speed with everything. So while we're in the public comment, so has everybody met BJ Gavin? We all, were you at our last meeting?
Yes.
Yeah. So you've been introduced to everybody and you even came back to a second one. That's fantastic.
Under duress, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And he gets to sit through 2 meetings that I get to lead, so I had to take care of the advisory board, so I apologize. I already apologized, so too bad. Anything else? BJ, anything?
No.
Okay, we will put you on the spot every month. Make sure Sandy does. Our next item on item number 6, agency rules, procedures, law. I don't know anything I'm not aware of anything to go over here unless any of the other board members does. Is there something that needs to be discussed here?
It would probably be the absence policy.
Oh, we can do that here. Okay, so, our absence policy, what is?
There's actually something in the bylaws with the absence. Now, we may have put something in after the.
We did, it was in the past, it's been since I've been on the board, we did enact an absence policy.
We talked it through back
Right, a year or two ago. I'm looking at Ron because he would have access to that in the book.
I do.
Okay, can you,
It basically says that if you miss more than 3 meetings and it sort of implies it unexcused, then you can be removed from the board by a vote of the board. And I believe it's not specific enough, in my opinion, to say that we can excuse the absences, but I think it should apply.
so that I would make a motion that we update said rule that the chair or vice chair or whomever sitting in their place has the discretion on excused or unexcused. An example given. So let me throw that out and then I can give an example during discussion.
So are we? Okay, I have a motion. Oh, why my wife's calling me? Must be an issue. I have a motion that I.
Why you're looking at me?
Why is my wife on? I have a motion. Do I have a second? I'm not 100% sure of the motion, but do I have a second?
What is the motion?
The motion is that it's up to the board, it's up to the chair to just define if the absence is excused or unexcused. And I'll give examples during discussion.
I'll second.
I have to know lessons.
Okay, let's
So
discuss.
as discussed, so as in today, right? Erica emailed late, she had a sick child. Right? So is that an excused absence or unexcused absence? I mean, it's really up to the chair to decide if it's going to be. To me, I would excuse that. It's a valid reason to be missing. Same with Sandy missing the meetings she has missed. Meetings that Dan has missed, that's Ron has missed. I mean, all of us have missed meetings at some point in time due to other family or work obligations. So that's the reason why we leave it up to the discretion. Now, if Erica, I'm using her as an example, or me, I'll change it, use me. If I just didn't show up and didn't tell anybody, that's an unexcused absence. because I didn't notify the chair or the board prior to.
Question, the number three unexcused absences, is that within a time frame? Is it consecutive?
A year.
A year?
Usually in 12 months.
Okay.
And
it's
I think
usually rolling
that's what
12.
the rules
And-
say, a year, in a year.
And the absence, I mean, in my opinion, having an absence policy is to keep a person from abusing, not being here, not to punish them because of a circumstance, and kicking them off the board does not benefit us because replacing them is not an easy process. If it's a county appointed member, then it's got to go through the county commissioner to get them reappointed. If it's a advisory board position, then it's got to go back to the advisory board who may not have someone that they're readily able to put on here. So, but if the person's abusing it, then by all means, they shouldn't be on the board. I mean, because they're not serious about being.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. So as far as the person that excuses the, there's, I don't know if I want the chairman or vice chairman just to bless it, or if there's reasons behind it and maybe we just take a board vote on it, at the meeting, was this an excused absence? Well, the person gave us notice. It was for this. We do not feel they're abusing the absence process. I mean, that's something.
Don't most boards define the reasons for excusability?
No, not necessarily. Because let's be honest. Let's assume for argument's sake that there's no unexcused or excused. There's just 3 absences. If somebody misses more than 3 absences in a year, you're talking about, that's already 25% of the year. It's probably something that should be automatic. So you're 4 out of 12. I mean, that's a third of the meeting.
Would the policy also I imagine some of those policies also define, this is Matthew speaking, define maybe a minimum number of meetings to attend in a year, excused or unexcused, that,
Right.
so somebody could have a valid reason 12 times and not attend any meetings. But you may want to say, well, the person must attend a minimum of whatever would be 6, I don't know, something like that. So as part of that overall attendance policy.
This is Dan. It's my understanding that we can kick a member off this board at any point we want to. We can make a motion today. This is just a trigger to say once 3 is met, that could allow for us to make a motion as an excuse, as a reason to make a motion.
I mean, some places actually have automatic, so you don't have.
But this is just allowing
But
the
you're
board
allowed-
to put it to vote. I would make an amendment to the motion to have the decision made during roll call. At that time, the chair can say, this is going to be excused or unexcused. And then if someone has a problem with that, they can speak up at that time.
I'm willing to go with that, which is pretty much what I was going at, is that they'll let's call it excused or unexcused, and somebody would probably have. I'm fine with amending the motion.
The only thing I would tell you is it's probably easier to define something as unexcused versus excused.
Right,
Because that's usually somebody who doesn't contact, you have nothing.
exactly.
But documenting the reason they weren't here in the minutes gives us backup to go back to. And I was about to say what Dan said is that if we don't, if you do something stupid and, you've done something that, we should kick you off the board, we can do that. I mean, as a board, so.
I think you guys are spot on. I mean, you just have to have some, just in case somebody abuses it.
Okay, so let's restate the amended motion and get the second to go along with it.
Sure. John Holbeck, the restated amended motion is that during a roll call, the chair will excuse or unexcuse the individual. However, if a board member or someone on the board has a problem with that, they can speak up at that time.
And is the second approved?
I will second that.
So if there's not any more discussion on that, then all
We lost the part about triggering an event to call for a vote of removal.
Well, that's already in the rules for that. That has nothing to do with This is on the absentee side only. Triggering the removal, that's a step process after that. That would then fall into the 3 absence. Not to, we're just redefining just part of what is excused and unexcused. Who makes that? The rule is not changing. We're just defining it a little bit.
Any more comments? I say no. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Very good. So backing up to the roll call, now that that's been taken care of, the 3 missing board members tonight all gave us notice. Erica's notice came late, however, valid reasons.
So that's what you emailed, right?
Ron emailed it, I got the email, and Sandy let us know over a week ago, so. So I say all those are excused, so that goes on the record, so those being excused. Moving on to the treasurer's report.
Well, Phil, you
Yes,
were asking why that was on the agenda. One of the issues that came up at the previous meeting was the role that Ron's job description we talked about, and that was supposed to be on the agenda. I don't know if that's where it fell or not.
Was that discussed last month?
Yes,
That is one.
Ron's job description. And
Oh, yes.
and I think I thought that's what that was on there for the HR role, but
Although that was something else that's coming on.
okay.
Andy, do we have to be more pointed when we talk about Ron's position as a contractor, not to call it a job description? Because it's technically a contract, it's not a job description. I know that's a word game, but public record, all that thing, I just thought I'd bring it up.
I mean,
We're very pointed here. I don't call my taekwondo for
I mean,
anything.
you're right, it's not a job description, it's
It's a contract.
Right.
It's a contract.
Mhm.
But it's still this, I mean.
It lists the expectations of the contract.
But the board isn't, it's asking him.
Then can we'll bring that up under new business at the end? Because
Dan's
I
like,
was
as long as we bring it up.
Well,
I don't need to bring it up, but I just thought that that's what that was.
Well, we'll push it to there and then see if that's something we're gonna talk about, because I'm not prepared for that.
This excuse and that excuse, if you're okay with it, sure. I will, when I do roll call, I'll actually have the checks on there when we're done with it. We just check they're approved or not approved. Now we'll just document with them, student what's going on. Sure. Thanks, Tom.
Just a reporting method.
That's all.
Then we'll move into the treasurer's report.
all right, so we finally have everybody set up on electronic banking.
What?
Yes, well, the
I don't have
director
an account.
still.
Right.
So you did not get a new email to your
No.
library?
Sorry to take the wind out of your
No,
sails.
but when are we supposed to get there? Because I don't know that I got one
You got one, Erica, you got one a while too.
originally, okay.
Really?
Well, then
That hasn't changed.
It was so long ago.
Right, Erica's and Lois's haven't changed. Mark, did you get one?
I got one, but then I couldn't log into it, so I'm having issues with it.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna be back on the phone.
Lois, let's you and I start ACH. We're good to go.
Yeah, you guys are good to go right now. I can approve those and everything else for now until I get the rest of the board set up.
Yes, this isn't preventing us from doing business.
Right,
It's
so
just
this-
more to missing out.
So we actually can start, like the people that have sent their ACH authorization, we can actually start processing them now.
I can get that turned out tomorrow.
All right, good.
Okay. All right, so there goes the wind out of my sails. All right, but anyway, going into the accounts, there's no anomalies in the accounts or anything else like that. However, due to poor training on a previous director of HR, our current admin is not calculating the splits between for payroll for Shelby, or who is it? Shelby,
Blake and
Blake and Beth.
Beth.
Thank you. Losing my mind. For Shelby, Blake and Beth, they're not properly being allocated. They were being allocated, the wages were being allocated on the net check, not on the gross check. So Erica was stuck paying the taxes for the past, we can figure.
12 years, maybe 13 years.
Well, I was only going back 3 because that's all I know
Right.
from talking with her, with Helen, our account. So there is some money that is going to be owed by the different agencies back to Erica. Those have already been spelled out and everything has been sent out, I believe, correct?
Yes.
Looking down with Erica's got to pay herself back. I saw that on one. Now, the other thing that's gonna come up is on the benefits side. Because we don't know if that was processed correctly or not. Again, this is a training issue that was given to Shelby. She was given to her improperly, so it's not Shelby's fault. She was going by how she was taught. But we've made that correction through Ellen. I am going to request that the monthly statements that get sent, I get copied on from Shelby, please, going forward. I got sent this, for this month, just because I've been involved with this. So at least we'll have another set of eyes on it. We'll be able to catch it and we'll be able to fine tune this to make everything and everyone successful. There was no misappropriation of funds or anything else like that. It's purely an accounting error. Unfortunately, in benefit of all the other directors except for Eric. But she's the one who got held in the back.
It's not a significant amount. It is definitely a reporting issue, but
Yeah.
I also would like to go on record as stating, John, we of course don't have a problem having Shelby copy. I think that's great checks and balance. I think that we need to inform Ellen as one of our contractors that it is the wish of this board that you're copying and you will be the one that is checking that and to just stop.
I've already talked to her this week.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. But the amount, the total amount, just for purposes is, the back payroll is $15,171.90, which, yes, Erica is correct. It's not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things, but it's still $15,000.
I have a question.
Yes.
Was this error caught by the auditors?
Yes.
Yes,
And this is the same auditors that have been doing this for years, and I don't know if it was, an oversight on Craig Gilman's part or whatever, is that how this went along for so long without the.
that I do not know.
Lois, just look up and you're welcome. There you go, and move on.
That, so we go back a year ago. Never reported directly to the fixed board though.
Yeah.
So that may have been part of the confusion, maybe, because Beth.
No,
We are
it's-
relatively new into this reporting. Blake is brand new into this role. So I mean, this is.
It's
that way for a long time.
It's an accounting error that's done. Shelby creates a spreadsheet and breaks up all the 3 of their wages and applies it accordingly to a formula to all 3 entities. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. It's, you guys are each, it's right here in front of me. No, it's not. It's 32.
No, I know
Yeah, it's a breakup
the
formula.
formula, but I just
Yeah.
was. Okay, I got it.
It's how it was, and because she was doing it on the net amount of the paycheck and not the gross amount, that's where this is coming from, because you're also talking unemployment, FUTA, all that stuff. But benefits, we're still looking into that on the benefits side.
Well, and just for clarification, because it's a lot of information, I don't know if this board knows, but the 3 FICSA employees, they come out of my payroll. And the other entities, the checks that you sign are reimbursements back for that. So what ends up happening is out of my account, the ACH is drawn for the total payroll, including Blake, Shelby, and Beth, including their taxes and their social security and all those things. And then the entities reimbursed. Well, what was happening probably for the last 13 years is we were just saying, oh, well, Beth's check's $1,000. We're going to divide that 30, and forgot about all the other things that Parks and Rec paid. So that was caught by the auditors. I don't think it was this year, based on Ellen's conversations with me. But they pretty much put their foot down and said, you need to correct this because payroll taxes have been misaligned in the accounts for a while. So, and similarly, same thing with insurance. So, Blake's salary comes out of my check and so does his insurance when he gives his $50 and we pay his $900 or $800, whatever it is a month. So that has to be appropriate. Actually, they've been reimbursing on the total of $921, the percentage, instead of $821. So I owe them money for that. Does that make sense? Because each employee gives $100 for their benefit,
Yeah, yeah.
So
right?
bottom line,
We're
it's,
gonna realign it.
You gotta read-
oh, yeah,
It's real,
but bottom line, it's an internal
Mhm.
Yeah.
realignment
correct.
that our auditors found
Right.
to help our entities, has nothing to do with anything filing with the IRS
Oh,
or
no.
any of that.
They all got their
I
money.
want to make sure everybody understands.
Yeah.
It's just an internal thing.
Right.
It's just one of our entities was out a little extra money and now that's going to be resolved. And
Right.
Correct.
so fantastic job. I don't think we need to spend any more time on this where I'm going here.
That's all I got.
It was an error. It's going to be corrected.
So
Question for you, Mr. Treasurer. No. Shelby sent out this report, it's a county report, it was an audit, it was like 30-some pages. I got a copy of it yesterday.
it's actually filed.
Yeah.
And so what is this filing?
The
What is-
nine-
So,
990?
so the 990 is what we file as a nonprofit. We have to file every year with the IRS. 990s are due September 1st. However, we need to sign that and get that in back to the,
You don't have to sign this draft.
not that draft.
You just have to review it and
It's just for review, but it needs to be signed and then sent back in.
I thought it was later than that. You said
No, September is the
That's what
9th.
should be on, because I knew the 990 process.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't sure if this was something you found or somebody.
No. It's
This
just,
is- this
it
is-
was something that came in that does need addressed and it does need to be.
I got it.
So that's the reason.
But in previous years, I don't think it's come before the board
It hasn't, no.
in its entirety because we approve our auditor's report. We approve everything they do. So it really only needs to be signed by the chairman.
Correct.
It's done.
Yeah, because that's included in the audit.
Correct,
Correct.
correct. That was for informational purposes only.
Thank you.
So, and that's the only reason I printed it is in case anybody brought it up and you wanted to see it. Here it is.
So I went through it all and I just, it was 990s, but
Right.
just the timing threw me off though. 'Cause
Yeah.
I thought it was later in the year for some reason, not September 1st.
September is coming, actually, it's like September 15th, but September is coming up, so it's like,
Interesting. Thank you, thank you.
but that's my report.
Yes, sir.
Do you happen to know what the Cadence interest rate is on their funds?
The Cadence current interest rate on their funds, you actually have that, because it's in, I believe it's in everybody's report. Right? I know Mark's, I know it's in Mark's.
On the,
I saw it too.
on the general funds that.
Yeah.
That I do not have at my fingertips, but I want to get that for you. I can send that out, right? Andy? Because it's additional
Information.
I'll get that and I'll send it out as an email to
I
everybody.
remember it being two,
Two, yeah.
and I wanted to confirm that because I don't trust that they're giving us that percentage. And we have a significant amount there.
Well,
It makes a big difference.
2%.
You have there. No.
Interesting.
but it's,
No, no, no.
Okay.
it is what it
It
is.
is what it is.
I'll send it out. I'll have it up for everybody tomorrow.
So while you're talking,
So before we get any more down the road with the treasurer, his report, do I have a motion to approve the actual report that was given? I just need a motion to approve the report.
I'll make it. I can do
Who
it.
make it? I don't care who makes it. Somebody's got to make it.
I'll give a motion. for-
Bill made the motion. Do I have a second?
Thank you.
I'll second it.
The other bill.
The other Bill, second. Any discussion about the treasurer's report? I think we've discussed this a little bit. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any other questions for John? Before we move on? Then we'll move right into East Lake Community Library. Do I have a motion to approve the June financials?
John Holback, motion to approve.
Bill Westwood, second.
Any questions or comments for Lois? Without being any, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Lois. May I have a motion to approve the director's report as submitted?
motion to approve the director's report.
Thank you, Dan. Do I have a second?
I'll second. Go with her.
Any questions or any highlights that you would like to share?
I
with
think
us?
the biggest highlight for all of the entities was the transition from the insurance, having paid through the entities, now being paid through the county, allowing us to take those funds and use them elsewhere. In the case of the East Lake Library, we were able to acquire 3 very good e-resources, the New York Times Online, Comics Plus, and Canopy, which is a wide variety of movies and films and TV series and such. We also have added Overdrive Advantage, which gives our patrons the opportunity to receive their popular titles quicker than normal, since we will buy extra copies of those titles. Our Spreading Our Wings campaign is off to a good start. It is a marathon, not a sprint, as my foundation president said. We've started out with first 3 months with 25,000 in donations and pledges, and we continue to receive additional funds weekly. And the other big thing I'm very proud of is the new collaboration between East Lake Recreation and East Lake Library in an effort to work together to try to bring awareness of East Lake Recreation facilities and their needs and issues. We had a meeting, and as a result of that, what came out of that was that we are having a large event during the holidays called Deck the Rec, which I think was a great title. We have also a logo, okay, that we had a contest for. This is the East Lake Library and Recreation logo that we will be doing, okay, at events and have them throughout the area. And I think this community event will bring people to the fields that might normally be there. I mean, he gets plenty of people there, but we want other families and other residents to be aware of that. And another thing that just happened yesterday was Juvenile Welfare Board offered these kids lunches that we can distribute throughout the area. We received 175 non-perishable kids lunches yesterday. We will start distributing them during programs and at the library. But everything's going well. Summer programs, terrific. I mean, we have such a plethora of programs for all ages. We have over 300 families registered, and again, all ages, adult program, teens, and children's summer reading club. So I have to give kudos to my staff for what a wonderful job they're doing all summer.
A question, if I may, how did you guys figure that partnership up? Because from a visionary standpoint, you guys are spot on. That makes so much sense to me. But how did
Well, we've talked about it for a long time. It came out of actually our advisory board invited their advisory board a few months ago to meet and discuss some of the issues, and some of the frustrations that East Lake Rec has faced over the years with trying to, broaden, what's there and get things done. And it's always hard, but they're not in the limelight unless your children are in the sports there and such. And I'm sure you can elaborate on this better than I can. So we said, look, we're both East Lake, the library has been fortunate to come so far in the last 10 years. We've got to try to bring our other part of leisure services along. So, in the absence of municipal government, we said, let's work together. So we had a very good joint advisory board meeting. From that, we created a committee. We had a meeting last week, and, we're trying just to let people see, what can be done there, what needs to be done, what can be done, and what's already there. And we want to hear from the community rather than just a library survey or a rec survey. Let's have a community survey. What do you want to see at the fields and such? Yeah, well, he's fun to work with.
Any other questions for Lois? Well, thank you very much. Very much. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I have no old or new business on the agenda for the library. Okay, move on to Palm Harbor Library. Do I have a motion to approve the June financials?
Bill Westwood, I'll make it a motion.
A second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Any comments, any questions on the financials?
Question for Andy. Are the entity points able to vote on these things?
We have been voting on the financials as a general statement, but on individual purchases, no.
Okay, so I can get involved in,
Yes.
to vote on.
I never understand that. You can get involved in the comments.
Oh,
and
you can-
questions
yes, you can
about
discuss that.
any of
I just didn't know if I can make a motion. No.
You
Not a
can.
motion on the general, yes, on a specific, like, we're buying a new air conditioner, then no.
On the general acceptance of
Right.
I think it's more checking to see if there's an anomaly or a problem or something that should come up. It's not actually on white spit. So I understand that part. But I've always believed that this board as a whole, if even on specific expenditures, to ask a question.
Oh, no,
That's
any
never-
discussion.
That was just
Dan was
fun.
asking if he could make a motion.
No, I know. Okay. Any other questions? All those in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Do we have a motion to approve the director's report?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Bill. Do I have a second?
I'll second it, Bill Westwood.
Thank you, Bill. Any questions or highlights from our director's report?
Yes, indeed. I'll ask Kathy Watts to do the first one about our cameras for coffee.
Yes,
and coffee.
we have multi-program cameras and copies, and we had our third annual photography contest. We had many great submissions, and our reception had about 25 people. All of the winners are actually being displayed in the bookstore and for a total of 2 months, and they'll be up for 2 more weeks if you want to come see.
Thank you, Kathy. Do we have a couple of open positions right now in our circulation? If you know anybody wanting an entry-level part-time job, please send them our way. We did get an update. Thank you to Nancy for getting an update for us about that front entrance that the doors have been broken and repaired and broken and repaired, and the county's stepping in to replace them as early as late August or early September is the current estimation on that time. Our MST request is going to go before the BOCC on the 22nd next week. So we'll keep our fingers crossed there. And that's for the shelving that was approved here a couple meetings ago. Nancy discussed Main Street earlier. We had our Main Street events at the library on Monday night and Tuesday. I'll do a fuller report next month when I'm talking about July events, but they were great. Commissioner Eggers came to the Monday night. Bill, you were there. Ron, you were there. Nancy, of course. And it was just really a wonderful event. Proclamation was read. Lots and lots of people attended and really enjoyed it. And and then we had another round of it with the family event yesterday. And again, I'll share more next month, but I will ask Nancy to explain about the postcards, which are actually still at the Palm Harbor Library until they run out. If you could just share a little bit about what those are.
So the Palm Harbor Museum gathered some images of some of our historic structures in Palm Harbor and put them on a postcard format. And there's 8 different images, and they're placed there available for people for suggested donation to acquire. And they're encouraged to find these structures. Some of them are private homes, some of them are businesses in the central business area of downtown Palm Harbor. And it just serves to acquaint people with the history and stories behind these, probably driven by them yourself and wondered, wow, what's the story behind that one? Notably, the Coleman House, which is at the corner of Omaha and Pennsylvania, the white columns, a 2-story house. That belonged to the president of the Palm Harbor Development Company. And it's known as the President's House. But I'm sorry, strike that from the minute. It was the president of Sutherland College, which was the second iteration of, the building that was built as the San Marino Hotel. So very educational. They'll be available at the kickoff, community kickoff at Harbor Hall, and also at, the, pop-up exhibit and the family event and pop stands for a suggested donation.
For a suggested donation. And there are also some left at the Palm Beach Library that you can come by and get as well. And yeah, they're really great. And they do have that as descriptions on the back that you can read all about the history of the location. And myself and Erica and Phil are all on the board of the Main Street and really excited about the upcoming events. And then everything else that's planned after that. There's even, you'll be hearing even more about what Main Street is up to throughout the year. Some events in August, you're all cordially invited to. Only a couple of them require registration, honoring Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings and her work. And that'll be celebrated in a few different ways. And then I'll just mention this very briefly. I put in the notes that I joined the Florida Library Standards and Outcomes Committee Task Force. Those standards are about 10 years old and badly in need of updating, but it actually goes along with one of my goals, which is to look at unique training opportunities, which myself and Kathy are going to be doing in the coming months and year, especially focused around data storytelling, how to look at what we are collecting and how we can actually use that to understand what our strengths and our weaknesses are, as well as demonstrate the value of our institution. And as we go through those training opportunities, and as I sit on this committee, whatever I can share with my colleagues and the board, I'll definitely do that, because there's always room for improvement there, as this board has discussed in the past about how to get the community to be aware of everything that we have in a meaningful way. So I just wanted to mention that briefly, and that's it for me.
Any questions? Jump in there.
And I'm gonna ask all the directors this question. I ask it to Lois every time, so. In fairness. So looking at the numbers, from the balance sheet, it's 619,000 operating is what you have on the balance sheet.
Mm-hmm.
And 183 in capital listed there. Do you have a sense that that operating budget is pretty accurate, meaning you're going to spend all of that? And will any of that go to the capital budget and, you know, over the course of the fiscal year? And then also, what are you going to do with that 183 in the capital? Are you tending to leave it at Cadence, making 2% or whatever it is?
I think in terms of what we're going to be doing, if the capital were to grow more, in other words, for next year, it looks like we will be able to maybe put even more than we usually do. We always put a little bit aside at the end of the year, you know, in the area of 1 or 1.5% or something like that, which could be $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. And part of that could be sort of that rainy day or something were to happen. We need to do something that the county won't cover. But then the other part of it is for potential expansion. I think it was a little less than, and I'm getting to your question, but a little less than a year ago, the board started talking about the importance of capital projects. And so that's another one of my goals, is to form this fundraising committee, start looking at our list of possible capital projects in the future, see what could be addressed with capital funds or what might need to be done with fundraising. Because it's not a lot of money when it comes to like things like a building expansion, which is in our current strategic plan to explore possibilities of, but it is enough to do things that are, you know, maybe sorely needed or have been overlooked, or like I said, rainy day fund if something were to happen. And so my answer to your question about whether to move capital into stronger investments is, I don't know. I'm happy to hear advice on that, and I'm sure that's going to be something we're going to be discussing in the fundraising committee as well. Yeah, I'm happy to hear any input from the board or my colleagues on better places for those funds to go, if any.
Do you have a concern with that, Dan, or what's your?
Generally speaking, my concern is always, are the public funds being used properly? And being used could be sitting, waiting So if we have a timeline for building expansion, then, all right, if it's 4 years out, then we have a 4-year window. Is the 2% the best place for it? I can argue it all day because that's what I do for a living. But I just wanted to throw that out there as something that I personally am interested in. And I think this board should be more interested in the use of the funds. And seeing a plan or knowing what it's doing is fine, while we sit and wait at 2%. That's probably not gonna last forever either.
Yeah.
So,
And 4 years is like, that'd be a pipe dream, you know, any kind of expansion is gonna be way, way further out anyway.
so you have a
So,
bigger runway to
Yeah.
actually take that and do something else with it.
yeah, I think I think it's worthy of exploration for sure.
And one thing to remember is the directors have the autonomy to take those funds and move them into other interest-bearing accounts, obviously with the agreement of their advisory boards. They don't need this board's approval to do that.
Correct.
So, but you're absolutely right. If operating or if capital is sitting there, there's no plan for it. Absolutely, I would feel, and I think the directors would agree, they're gonna move it to a higher interest bearing versus it just sitting at the funded rate of whatever Katie's given us.
And I guess my question would then be to the board, are we gonna hold them accountable and keep the pressure on so that they do that? And I will. So I got 2 more people that I'm
I
gonna ask
think
the same
it's
question to.
I think that's pretty healthy. And the
Because Lois gets it from me every month. Whether she
I'm
likes
just
it
gonna
or
say
not.
what he said.
So,
Well, you can see, you know, I have.
but sticking with the Palm
followed
Harbor
your
Library, I
advice
just
that we
wanted,
have the-
Yeah.
the ladder
I think that
approach to
guidance would be welcome, and I think there are options, and yeah, I'm sorry, and did I cut you off, Lois?
No, I'm just gonna
Oh.
say, you know, as you can see on my balance sheet, we have a laddered approach to CDs, and I'm always shopping around knowing that there are gonna be those that are gonna be coming up for renewal.
Is that the percentage you get on that CD?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, the 2 best banks I have found are Live Oak and Fund Alliance. Those are the 2 that I used. We had Chase for 9 months and it went from like, 5% to 2%. I said, bye, and put it into Prime Alliance. And, I'm already, you can see there are a number of them coming up for renewal. And, that's what I've been doing. I mean, and you look at the interest rates, it's 17,000
Could we
already
get
this year.
each of our entities to detail their CD interest and maturity like that?
I don't have any CDs.
Mine's included in the packet.
Yeah.
you got one due today.
It's not doing like that.
Mhm.
That has CDs, but we haven't asked them to.
No, I mean,
It depends.
I'm just looking at it.
We haven't asked.
What do you want it to look like? Which one?
Oh, it's kind of give us a breakdown on your CDs. What is the current interest rate? Okay, so
That's-
like you
that's
can
easy
have,
enough, Yeah,
I mean, it
He
should
made
be,
me do it, that's why.
We talked.
I like that.
Yeah.
yeah, it's fine.
I mean, you can't, you have the Fifth Third checking. I mean, it's $30.
I think we've just identified where they are. That all the board asked was to identify where they were.
Right. So
So we
you
can-
could now take a next step. And then like your Fifth Third CD1 and CD
It's
2.
around 5 or 6% or something like that.
And then what's the percentage rate? And then also what's the maturity date?
Yeah.
If you could add that to your P&L, that or your balance sheet, that would actually be great.
Sure.
And then I'll get the cadence numbers because those.
I think our advisory council would like to know that information.
Ron,
Yeah, the cadence. number.
Just like to point out,
Yes.
that's,
and I've already-
the board passed that as a policy like 3 years ago, that the CD information would be a part of the monthly treasure.
Not the interest rate.
Not the
where
interest rate,
CDs
just
were.
where the CDs were.
That was it. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, I was here for that. 3 years ago, I wasn't here, but when we discussed like a year and a half ago,
I think I agree. I mean, I agree, but I agree that we didn't ask for it to be detailed to that extent. We just want to know where it was at. And that was because
Mhm.
we wanted everybody to share where their CDs are at, so that we would get the communication going. If somebody who's got a better rate, that, we weren't holding your feet to the fire. to go
no,
to
I think it's good
someplace.
information. We're
And
happy
we
to
fall
share.
below the insurance.
And there's also the FDIC rules. We wanted to make sure that we
Right.
weren't using the
FDIC
same
insurance.
financial institutions, okay, as the other entities because of the $250,000 limit, which is why I have to shop around and split it up. Because right now, fortunately, over the years, we went from 0, okay, to over $300,000 in CDs that we have moved from our operational account.
Totally agree. So let's close out the director's report. And all those in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any other the financials, it's gonna come up again here in just a minute. So I'm gonna ask another question. Dan's gonna ask the same question again. But Are there any other questions having to do with the library? There's no new or
No.
old business, so we're gonna close out Palm Harbor Library. Thank you very much. Thank you for using the library for community as you've done with the 100-year thing. Nancy, thank you very much. So Palm Harbor Library, thank you. We'll put that aside. So East Lake Parks and Recreation, do I have a motion to approve the June financials?
I'll make a motion to approve it. Bill Westwood. Take one second.
And questions?
Yeah, so. Maybe on East Lake.
Jan Wendell was the.
You have 596 in operation. And then you have 0 in the capital campaign accounts. So I like that because I did see your statement that showed CD came due today, literally. Today's the 16th. Yeah, you had one come due today that was at 5%. So what is your philosophy on how much you keep in operation versus the capital campaign?
Well, I've been consistent for the last 10, 11 years that I fall between about 60% of my funds go to operation and 35 to 40% I put into renewal and replace, which is my capital. So with that capital, capital money, I try to put it into money market or CDs. Money market's paying a little better right now. And I've been rolling those over. And I like the fact of using a broker, so I don't have to go shopping. I just call my broker and say, hey, give me the best rates. So what can you find for me? And CDs and then he'll do the work for me. So I'm all about working smarter. So it's pretty consistent like that. And as you know, every time I get in front of the county commissioners or answer anything, I'm telling them what our future plans are and what it's a huge project that's going to cost millions of dollars. So I'm a drop in the bucket for what I have here for what I need. So.
Would you see an issue with, is it Raymond James?
Mhm.
Would you see an issue with your broker assisting or taking on the PHCSA entity as a whole? So considering it's the same EIN number and partitioning it in such a way that each of the entities can use the same person and we can have more simplistic oversight?
I'm just curious the cost of that, because brokers don't cut it. He's getting a percentage, he's getting something.
He's not getting much, he doesn't get much of anything for a CD. Money market, you might get a little bit, but it's not much.
So if we just need to know what that is, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
we're shopping around.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, basically he's doing the CDs for almost nothing. So it's just, I use him as a personal one too. My financial advisor personally too. So, everything's on one sheet for me. I mean, it's really easy online to check.
Isn't our IRA through American Fund or through Raymond James?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean,
And I know East Lake Fire uses a third party to manage their funds, government related. There's certain rules that they have to follow, so just throwing it out there as something the board might consider.
I think, yeah, it'd be for us to consider, right?
It would be the directors would have a lot of input on that because you control your own destiny right now with that. And if it would benefit you, I mean, I see the plus behind letting somebody like that do it. That would take some of the, we can discuss that. We can bring it back if that's what,
I don't think,
we've modified our rules over the last couple of years to allow you the freedom to do what you're doing now. So
I don't think we'd have a problem. Mark could contact this guy and we could get him on one of our directors meetings on Zoom, have a conversation, see what it would entail, and then bring it back to the board as an FYI.
Yeah, making
What do you
sure
guys
that-
think?
That's what I was gonna.
Yeah, and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Mark could-
and if he's doing a group too, maybe he would charge more,
Yeah,
since it's.
we'll still find out.
Yeah,
No,
Right.
it's well worth it.
But if the fees though are covered with the interest earned on it, I mean, it's.
bottom line, that doesn't need a motion because you're doing it now.
Right.
So bringing it to your other directors is just a plus. I would advise you to do that. And then if that seems like a good direction to go, you can bring it to us to consolidate that process. Okay. Any other questions regarding the East Lake Recreation financials? And I do. So in the $826,919.10, is any of that designated money that you need to pay bills in the next year?
No,
Okay. Any other questions?
Hold on, this is for clarification, no. A lot of this was money you guys brought with you when you came in to fix it, correct?
no,
Not much of it.
Actually, I was under the impression it was. That you guys had done a lot of fundraising prior to coming in.
We still have,
You have your own account, right?
yeah, we still have.
You still have your, okay,
account
that's,
for
okay,
you
good,
guys. Yeah,
perfect.
You know, it doesn't.
and we're paying some fees out of that, which are minimal, just for advisory and some insurance stuff on our board.
Right.
And we've talked about disbanding our board and either giving it to our advisor, this advisory board, or donating it or something to that effect.
We take donations. We're a 501(c)(3). Oh,
well, hey, hold your horses there.
I was gonna say,
No, we just talked, not the money from PHCSA. I'm just
I
talking
know.
about our.
what your advisory board has in their account, yes.
So what I would
Christmas
like,
trees in
We're
downtown
gonna get
Palm Harbor
more.
are always in need of money.
we're looking, as we discussed, in our advisory board meeting is, we're gonna try to start a Friends
Yeah.
too, and that would be some seed money.
Yeah.
That would go in so that,
No, just a general comment, if Pinellas County ever got serious about Doge, you know, right now, we spend to the budget and whatever we don't spend, we stick into where we want to spend it. You know, if Pinellas County got serious and they said, no, so instead of spending in the budget, we are gonna cut back where we need to cut back. I mean, there could be a whole change in the way we do our budgeting, guys. I mean, you know,
But remember, we're a separate tax entity.
I understand.
So that's,
No,
yeah.
no, we're separate tax, but it's not saying that we can't cut the taxes back.
True.
Yeah, that's all I'm just saying. So that's the only thing we have to pay attention to if that ever,
And that-
there's ever movement on that, because it's
Well,
nice
I'll
to
wait
have
till
these
Dan asks.
lots of public money. But if you're hiding it, not hiding it, if you're putting it into a CD, well, why don't we give it back to the taxpayers? We don't need it.
Right.
Well, we do it, we're
There's a whole
saving it
discussion.
with the
I
capital
don't wanna-
projects, including the buildings.
There's different ways of looking at it. The way I look at it, you know, hearing you say, you know, all of that's the money we've raised since then, it shows that the support that Eastlake has is a financial support,
Right,
and
yeah.
therefore that the county's investment, and this is your sale point, that the county's investment in the building for you is viable because you have the support of the community to help finance it and keep it maintained, not just go up there and then run it into the ground. So that's what I see. So are there any other questions? I'm sorry, I muddied the water by asking that question. Are there any other questions on the financials? No, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Sorry, I didn't mean for it to go into.
that's fine. So obviously you didn't look at the financials very closely, but because when I sent this out, there was a mistake on it. And I just wanted to point that out.
no, you don't think you did that on purpose, Mark. It was a test.
I don't add your numbers. I just look at
So
them.
if you look at 6,300 ground maintenance, 6,350 field repair maintenance, there's a discrepancy because I charged 6 months to the wrong 6,300 rather than 6,350. So it's corrected. It'll be corrected on my next statement.
I knew about it because Alan told me. I wasn't gonna throw him
I
under
know
the
the
bus.
auditor's gonna catch it, so
Actually, won't.
do I have a motion to approve the director's report?
A motion to approve director report.
No, that's what else.
Any highlights?
Yeah, there's a couple. You know, just ditto what Lois said about our meetings and this new project that we're venturing together. Lois and her group has been fantastic. Bill sits on that board too, so really excited about things we got coming. Just a little bit more about the December 13th is the date. I don't know if you mentioned that the day or not.
Yep.
But so we want to just make sure people are aware of what's out there. And also we'll have booths and food trucks and all kinds of stuff. Hopefully this is planning anyway. set up and we want to get, have like some, renderings of what our future projects looking like, trying to get folks involved into that. So we have lots of plans that I'll get into at a future meeting, but, very excited about that. The newsletter, I think the deadline was today to get our
Yes,
information
this is
into
our
our
new
very
big
first
newsletter.
newsletter where
Mhm.
I'll get a small page.
You get a whole page, which is a whole lot.
Mark, I give you 2 pages in mine.
So, and actually, this was where Erica set this whole thing up at the conference. And then got that idea and passed it on to Lois, who then included me and not only me, but many other nonprofits in our area.
That's awesome.
So,
Yeah.
we
20 pages.
did have a nonprofit meeting that Lois, I don't know if you mentioned that or not.
No.
But Lois has been running for the last few years, kind of an annual nonprofit meeting, getting local nonprofits in and talking about, needs and wants and just kind of sharing ideas and finding out what other folks are doing in the East Lake Palm Harbor area. So, and then they were also able to contribute to that newsletter and get their stuff out on the free newsletter as well. So, that was really cool. And then something that I didn't mention, I forgot to mention last month's meeting is some of the highlights of what our teams did. And I think, let's see, we had in baseball, we had district finishes by all of our teams. Our 8-year-olds and 10-year-olds first place, and in districts, our 12-year-olds got second place, silver, and our 14s got third place. And all 6 of our all-star teams competed this summer and did extremely well. And also we had 14 girls that will be off of one of our elite teams that will be playing college soccer next year.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah. And then, we just talked about it, including, I really don't have much as far as, well, I guess, we're trying to redo our website, but, with social media, I haven't really done anything with that. And so that's gonna be kind of a focus on getting stuff out to folks about our area too. Generating interest and trying to raise some funds. So that's it. Oh, one other thing, Kubota tractor that you guys approved was ordered. Been waiting for the loader to come in. So hopefully that'll come in this week. And we'll have a new tractor.
Just a quick comment on the social media. I know from experience that the Instagram is extremely popular for soccer. And so if you can get your user groups to tag a facility in that somehow.
Yeah, so I was getting the whole education on that from Anne Marie
Yeah.
and
Just talk to the
other folks,
They got it.
because like I'm a dinosaur when it comes to that stuff.
And Mark,
I feel like my dad.
And I want to say, Anne Marie, won't toot her own horn, so I'll toot for her. She was at the committee meeting and she's offering to work with Mark, okay, on helping to develop his master plan as far as marketing and publicity goes, so.
and Mark, we hired a contractor to do our social media. And I will say extremely affordable. And if you looked at my director's report, you'll see our numbers ridiculously excelling because of it. We tried to do it in-house ourselves, but as you know, you're a one-man band. There's only so many yourself hats you can wear. And since you have a little flexibility in your operating account, it may be a worthy investment. Be happy to share that info.
Great, thank you.
Any questions before we vote? No? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I have no old business, but on here it says pickup truck. Are you buying a pickup truck?
Mine says that?
Yeah.
East Lake Parks and Rec.
It
Pick up.
does.
I'd like one.
It's probably an error from last month when Erica had it.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought, oh my gosh, she's mimicking Erica buying a pickup truck. So I was gonna compare prices. So I wrote down what Erica would pay and I was gonna see what you were gonna pay. So, okay.
Can I use that for personal use too?
No. We'll move to Palm Harbor Parks and Recreation. Thank you, Mark. Do I have a motion to approve the financials for June?
Motion to approve the financials.
John Holbeck to second the financials. For Palm Harbor Parks and Rec.
Any questions? Please make sure Erica has the right numbers before she says that she did.
I haven't heard of any.
Any questions?
Same question that the others had. The Palm Harbor Parks and Rec budget is operating 372,000.
Well, and that also, if you're looking at that without the knowledge of what we do, there are some summer camp contractors in that 300,000 that we still owe because they get 80% of the revenue that comes in. So for example, and I don't know the exact number that's left to pay, but in specialty camps, which those are the contractors, we've taken in over $300,000, which I'd like to happily say is 3% up from last year. Doesn't sound like a lot, but we're out of the room at the end. So if you do the math, $240,000 has to be paid out. Now, we pay them every week, so we're halfway through that. So if we were really halfway through, we'd say, okay, we got 180. So out of that,
Well, it's low compared to Slate. So I'm saying that number is low. The high number is the capital at Cadence of 1,130,000. So do you have a timeline on that?
I do. We're still waiting for that Sunderland project to start, which it was budgeted at about 260,000 3 years ago when we started. I haven't gotten an updated budget yet. Once we get the permit approved, he's going to give me that, which was resubmitted for the third time. So I'm guessing 300,000-ish for that. And there are several, other capital projects slated, like bathrooms at Harbor Hall, which could be upwards of $80,000 to do those when we redo those. The bathrooms here, we'll get some MSTU help, hopefully, but we know that's only $20,000. Staff, if you can remember any other projects that are still remaining. Oh, the foldable, collapsible partition wall in the palm room. Thank you, Lois, for helping us out with the name. We did find another contractor to get an estimate. I think how much, Trish, to repair and
To replace is 80,000, to repair is probably 40,000.
So we're gonna go with the repair
Yeah.
and putting material on it, because that material's lovely pink from 1999. So I have a list of probably $500,000 at least. I also we have 6 locations. Our insurance deductible for any name storm is $33,000 per location. So I always maintain $200,000 in capital just in case. So we're already 3/4 of the way spent.
And there's a remaining piece of pier.
The drop down dock, which you guys approved, I think, 8 months ago, but since the hurricanes, I haven't had him come out, but that's another 24,000. Yeah. So to address your concern, Bill, while we're talking about that, when we have spoken to the commissioners and we've spoken to staff of Pinellas County, there is never an issue, to Lois's point, of us capitalizing money because we don't get penny money on the regular. We get operating funds. That's what the $250,000 for each of us is. So if we are able to capitalize to do some improvements, like the floor was $40,000 that we replaced here 2.5 years ago, we took that out of that capital account. We just need to make sure that we have a schedule of what we're doing and itemized, like what I was just saying to you, so that the county understands that, no, we're not just, harboring money for the good old days and, we don't need it. We do need it. There's a lot of things that we need to do in our facilities, especially as they age.
And the unanticipated expenses, for example, no one planned to spend $32,000 to rent dehumidifiers.
Right.
I guess my questioning of it for all of this was not so much in having that list to prove the value and what earmark for that is understood. My thought is having a timeline on that and mixing it and having it coincide and align with the interest rates. Because if you look at 1.1 million, every percent is $11,000 a year. So there's a new floor of 40,000
Right.
just in interest while we wait and get this thing sorted out.
If you would have
So-
told me it would have taken 3 years to do a 2,500 square foot prefabricated building, I would have laughed at you, Dan.
Well,
So
let's assume that it's going to, which is why you
It already
put it in
has,
and you
yeah.
have it, and it's gonna take another 3 years while we wait for everyone else to get their act together.
agreed.
Public would love to see that.
So it's a quick question, I mean, the Cadence Capital, are you getting interest on that at all?
Yes, 2.5%. So that's it.
2.5.
Yeah, we earned, I think, 24,000 last year, I'm guessing. So it's about
So
2.5%.
so you're looking at, if you were able to move if you were able to move a couple $100,000 out of that into a higher CD, is all we're saying is.
Yeah, no, I
it's-
understand.
It's your comfort level.
Yeah.
So it's just advice.
Great question.
Yeah. And the penalties on CDs are only a few months' interest. But, you know, it usually is a win-win, even if you had to take it out prematurely.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that with money.
And that's what mine's in money market.
Yeah.
But it's.
Any other questions for Erica on the financials? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Do I have a motion to approve the director's report for July?
Don Holbach makes a motion to approve the director's report for July.
Bill Westwood seconds it.
Questions or highlights, Erica?
Yes, I would like to ask Trish if she knows the number of employees that got crowd manager training.
15?
So we were remiss in understanding the state statute by the Florida Fire Marshals Association, or whatever their real name is, but we'll call it that for now. That if you have more than 50 people assembled at any point in time in your facility, you're supposed to have a crowd manager. If you get to 250, it's 2 people. If you get, and it goes up. So originally Trish was manager trained. I let it expire and didn't re-up. Somehow, some way it came across your desk, I think, Trish, and so now we're putting all of our staff through it, and I believe the agency is also doing that. We shared the information with Beth, and it's a minimal expense. I think it was $15 or $20.
When we just started, it was 15, but there are some out there that.
Right, so let's just average it, $20 an employee, everyone will be crowd manager certified. If the event, anything happens, and we were questioned as an agency, we can say, oh yeah, we've got 6 crowd managers here right now. So we felt that was important to do. So I'm happy to report that 15 is probably 75% of our year-round staff. So we're working on it. We're allotting them a couple of hours of time on shifts with intention to do that. We just had our 3rd meeting of our Friends of Parks and Recreation. And Mark, I'm so excited that you're creating one on your side too, because Parks and Rec people need friends too. But what's super exciting is we have the Pinellas County Community Foundation present to that board, and we're very new. So our goal is to have the Friends do things like the Friends of the Library and raise funding. We know we're going to have a new building next door, but we're probably not going to have much more than the bleachers in there, some basketball hoops. So if we want chairs and tables, and the furnishings are that's also part of the capital money that I'm saving. But if this foundation can come to fruition and get into the fundraising bit, we can put a playground out back for $100,000 and things like that. So what the foundation, and I'm sure you guys have heard of the Pinellas County Community Foundation, brought information to us about doing an endowment. So we may, as Parks and Recreation Friends, it's a minimum of $5,000 endowment that they'll hold the money and earn money for us on it. So to your point, I'm going to talk to them about what's the availability of the money, what the percentage is. If they're going to offer, a good rate of return on the endowment, we may put some of that capital money in there. But that was already discussed today, and we just literally met at noon. So, but I would encourage my colleagues to also, I didn't get an opportunity to talk to anybody. We could talk about it at our director's meeting, to contact her. That was someone that I met through Feast. Also, Cindy mentioned earlier to me, and I know I mentioned a number real quick, but our full day camp, I think we have 1 spot, right, left in all the age groups. Literally 1 child can come that isn't already here. We literally have no more space, and we ran up 3% over last year. So overall, we are up 3% between both specialty camps that we'd only keep 20% of, but the full day camp we keep all of, which is huge for us since we are out of space. We were running down most of the first 4 weeks, and we were like, oh God. And to put it into perspective, I think I budgeted about $530,000 for program revenue. $448,000 comes in now, and we'll still take in a couple thousand by the end of summer. So the 10 weeks that we go through summer camp is like our Super Bowl. We have to have it in order to make our revenues match. I did say that we resubmitted the building permit, and I believe everything through the fire department that was holding us up with fire monitoring, I contacted our company here to do the plans for them there. That was holding up the permit. So the goal hopefully is to get the permit in the next 3 weeks, and then it's a 90-day build out. So from my mouth to the building god's ears, maybe by December of 2025, we'll have that facility there, which will boat a higher ceiling so we can do cheer, tumbling, things like that in that room, as well as have our baseball camp in there in the summer and things that are not going to be available next door anymore. Multi-sport camp, dodgeball camp, art camp, we'll use that space while this is under construction. You guys have anything I'm forgetting? I know you were giving me hints on things to mention. The big thing is the Friends of Parks and Recreation. I think it's
Playground at Putnam, was one of the things we were talking about capital. We're working on expanding the playground at Putnam a
Okay.
little bit and getting new equipment.
yeah. So I think that's it. Any questions? Hearing none, sir.
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? On the old or new business, no old, but the new has to do with holiday hours. Erica has asked the advisory board and we approved it, and they're bringing it to you for ratification. That they would like to close the week of Thanksgiving and the week of Christmas because there's really no activities here. It's working the employees when they really don't have to. They would use their PTO, not gain holiday days. They would use their
Correct.
PTO. So there's no effect. We're not giving them 10 more holidays. It's been approached to their employees. They're all in favor of it, and our advisory board approved it. So I will entertain a motion to approve Erica's holiday hour closures.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Bill's initial motion.
John Hallback, second, same motion.
Any questions for Erica on that? All those in favor say aye.
Well, wait, Dan, I could see.
I have a
you.
question for Andy. Is this an issue where the employees are kind of forced to use their PTO when they don't celebrate the holiday they want to work? Can you see an employee going down that route?
Well, for historical purposes, this used to happen all the time. We were never open the week of Thanksgiving. We were never open the week of Christmas. And employees were given the opportunity to use PTO or take it unpaid. And then, I don't know, 4 years ago, I said, a couple community members came to me. I said, let's open the center. And, 6 people came and played cards. All the business groups canceled or moved their meetings. We literally have more staff here than employees. We will keep the parks open. We just won't have bathrooms open to be blown up by dynamite, because that will happen during the holidays, unfortunately. So, you can direct me how you wish, but this was exactly how we used to do it under Rick's leadership.
Expecting any pushback?
We did a survey before we even brought this to the advisory board, and everybody was in support of it. One employee said, I'd rather work, out of the majority.
HR plugged into this at all?
Not yet, because if I didn't get approval, I was
Run
gonna.
it through HR.
Probably do this.
Well, is there any reason, Andy, you could see why if that one employee wants to work, we let him work?
Oh, I don't, you could let that one employee.
And it wouldn't be, would they sign a memo of understanding that they weren't forced to work? When we let everyone else use PTO, like I want to make sure, to your point,
Right.
covering both sides of that
That's
fence.
probably it.
Okay, well, I will run it by Beth if you approve it. I didn't want to bring it to her. Yeah, until we got approved.
Yeah, I was just wondering if there were employees that maybe didn't have enough PTO.
Not one employee, because Stephen surveyed every part-time regular person and every full-time. We had one full-time person that said, I don't really want to be home for 2 weeks.
No, I was saying, are there any that might by the end of the year not have enough PTO?
And the reason we're doing it now is we want to give them the opportunity to know they need to save 3 days for each week if they want to get paid.
Could you just say you can use PTO or you could take unpaid?
Yes, of course. That's always an
Oh,
option. for that,
Okay,
yeah.
I,
All right,
Oh,
they
you
don't
were
have to
wondering if
take
they were being forced.
right, I figured.
PTO.
No, they can
So
take
they
it
could
unpaid.
still go
I'm
unpaid.
sorry, she was clear on that at the advisory board meeting.
And she didn't even say it during her thing. She did say that they were offered, take it unpaid or.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't have to.
So no, she didn't mention it.
My bad.
All right, yeah.
Thank
I
you
mean,
for
I
the
think we
question.
should be okay, but I still would like to do the MOU. Just so somebody doesn't come after the fact and say,
The MOU with someone working or the MOU with everyone?
someone working.
Just to be clear, I want to make sure I know what I'm asking Beth.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I don't think it affects the motion, so. No.
Well, there was a motion in a second.
I
wasn't
said,
there?
I don't think that affects.
Oh,
the
sorry.
motion that's on the table. No. Any other questions? All were valid. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Approved.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
It's like everybody that positive feeling. Ron's report. Shall be formal, the liaison report and update.
Mostly, I was gonna highlight all the Palmyra birthday events. Seriously, board, that's a great opportunity for you to get out there and be seen by the community, because how many people were there? 150?
Oh, yeah, there was-
I'm pretty sure the fire marshal couldn't have been there.
We had crowd.
Crowd control.
Yeah, hey, you had a lot of crowd managers there.
Anyhow, it was a great meeting, and these other activities are gonna be so interesting
not
to
a big
the
cake.
big public. And again, it's a great opportunity for FICSA to be seen out in the community. So I urge you to go to any of these things if you can. Have a little thing that was in the Beacon, I guess it is. So there's like 5 or 6 more than the ones we've already had. And I want to go circle back and talk about the procedure thing. And here's where I think we are on that. As far as I'm concerned, we have wrapped our arms around all I can find at this moment. But the book is a living document, and there may be some that I missed, which somebody will someday say, oh, I remember that. And, you know, they find it in the minutes somewhere that I didn't find. And when that happens, we'll put it back in there. Bill and I have been working to try to make it can look consistent across the way, because some of the paper trail that we have, it's just a paragraph that says this and this, and then some of the others are very involved. For instance, like the evaluation thing, we have about this much for it, and we're still wondering about it. But I think we're at a point that we can talk about it every month forever, or we can say it's done here, we used it. The good news is that at advisory board meetings and so forth, almost every meeting now, there's a reference and a question asked. And so far, I've been able to flip through and say, here's what it says. Now, that won't always be the case, but I've been lucky so far. So I want to say we're done, except we're going to keep on improving it. And at some point, we want to get it digitized and up so everybody can look at it. Read only, not write. And then it'll be a good opportunity for the board to say, you missed something here. And we're going to find a vehicle to make that possible anyhow. We don't want to wait till the very end and say we didn't, but pretty much, I think we've combed the minutes. I've gotten the ones I can find, and I think we're done. But it's not pretty, and so I'm going to ask Bill to keep helping me. We're going to make it pretty, and then we'll get it digitized and get it up. I still don't think our website has minutes on it.
It does. I thought it did.
It has the.
It has approved minutes.
I looked at them today, and it has the electronic stuff. It doesn't have actual minutes.
I thought it both. Has it do?
Were you looking at the agenda screen or the?
I had to search for it.
No, so
No.
I'm
So I
right here.
have, they're on there.
Yeah.
The minutes for June are not posted because they weren't ratified until tonight. So after tonight, they will get posted up on
There's
the website.
2 links for each month. The
Right.
link on the left is the actual written minutes. The link on the right is the
That's the
video.
key.
Maybe I just need to get some.
That's the key. Just say.
Yes, and that's exactly what I was about to say. There's a link to the video
Yeah.
Yeah, so the video goes up right away. And then the minutes go up after they're approved in the following month's meeting, but they're up there.
The feedback that was given at the last meeting for the website was all done within a couple of days.
So,
And then we're open to additional feedback and we'll get with Blake to do.
Is there a way to clarify and instead of just having have the hyperlinking made minutes?
Sure.
That.
Yeah, that's easy.
You tell us.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. That makes sense.
so,
But yeah, they're both there.
okay. Yeah. So if I could just pick up from what Ron, so the deliverable we're trying to do, we're we talked about rules, policies, procedure, all that. We're gonna take everything we've got, we're gonna format it into a fixed rule, regulation, whatever it is. It's all gonna be documented. Again, if we miss something, then we're gonna have to change control. Then it's up to the board, then anytime there's an opportunity, well, we should have had this. Instead of waiting for approval, review and all this stuff, it'll take us months to get to there. We've got, Ron's found most of this, we're gonna document what we've got. And then guys, anytime it comes up, if we don't like the verbiage, we'll change it, we'll update it real time, and next month we'll just approve it. And so otherwise, I mean, it would take us a while to get to there. Ron, you did a great job finding everything. We're just trying to document it, just rock and roll and just move this thing. Hopefully, over the next month or so, we'll have everything kind of converted from where it is today into kind of a fixed documentation side of it. So it'll look like it's real, it's real, ISO type documents, if you will, whatever you want to call that, with issue control and all the other stuff. And so we try to backdate the issue control, and once we get that rolling, then it's up to us to make changes.
So I'm gonna try and wrap my hands around this and say that Fix has been an organization for how many years?
40.
For a long time.
Yeah.
And none of this stuff was accumulated and put together. So it's been a wild goose chase. It's been chasing it all down. It sounds like we've done a phenomenal job to get to where we're at, and we're just waiting to see it.
Well,
And we're trusting our contract employee and our board member that's working with them to get it and get it in front of us. Am I saying the right thing?
I think, that from my perspective, you said the right thing.
DVD.
What I,
And we needed something to track everything we do, and we've not had it. So
You need
this
a floppy
is,
disk?
this is a good one.
So Ron, are you suggesting that we don't get it together and then prove it as a board? We just accept it as fact, and then if we see a problem in the future, we make the change?
I say that it's a living document and at some point, I think the board ought to look at it and vote on it. To say, yeah,
Vote on
we
what we-
ratify what you found.
That just means y'all gonna have to read a pretty big document.
That's the point.
Is that what you're thinking?
well, I mean, it's nice to do that, but I got a feeling though, it would take us a while to get there, to get that whole thing ratified. I mean, to me, we've had a good spirit over the years. We said, this is what the intent of the procedure was. We make an attempt to document the procedure based on the intent that it was. And we'll just put an issue date on that. And the issue date is the issue date, guys.
And
And when that comes up for reading, if we don't like the verbiage, guys, let's make it, then we're taking one at a time, we change it versus a document that's got 50 items in it.
To your point, Dan, I mean, does approving it make it more official than it just being there with errors in it? If we approve it as errors in it, we'll find them as we go and we'll correct them. If we don't approve it and we accept it and we look at things and we find errors, we correct them. I mean,
Yeah,
6-1
in
have,
theory, they're already approved.
Right.
Yeah.
Just-
it's just documentation.
It's in a
of
spot,
something.
yeah.
And if we've made a mistake, we correct it.
Or I don't know, times change and we took on ACH now, so that's a new process. So at the evolution of fix it.
That's right.
Exactly. And I'm at the end of each of the policies. I'm putting when it happened in the minutes, when I can find that. And as Bill mentioned, there's a document that makes it, if you decide you want to change, if you as a board member want to change something, you can fill this form out, propose it to the group, and it'll help us keep track of what's going on. I also would like to suggest as a future practice that we don't make a motion tonight to change the world starting tonight, that you talk about it this month and vote on it next month. Like they do at the county and like they do practically everywhere else in the world, or cities, a lot of cities do that. You have a first reading and then you have a final reading and then it becomes the law of the land. I just think
That's for the change control, because.
passing a motion at a meeting when nobody knew it was coming and the discussion's probably not finished and all that, I just don't think that's a
I
good
think
long-term.
I don't think it's a broad, I think it's a valid thing to consider, but sometimes we need immediate decisions on motions, but a lot of times we don't.
Most of the time you don't, and I'm not thinking that this will cover like emergency purchases or emergency hiring and firing. All that kind of thing.
I was thinking you meant we'll make a motion, but we'll wait on the financials till next month. No, kidding.
I'm
Okay,
just-
I understand.
I'm saying
I
that
understand
if
the
you're gonna
concept.
change the direction of the vehicle, you ought to have the brakes and figure it out.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
This document, like you said, is a living document. It's gonna change and evolve, you know. That's normal. Would there be some place on the PHCSA website for it to be placed, but passcode protected, whatever, for the members of the board, for the directors, so that we can refer to it?
That's the plan. That we'll do that, and it'll just be a read-only thing.
You can't do that.
It's gotta be public.
It's a public record.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Oh, all right, well, the public.
No. It can be just a document that can't be, it's just to be
Read
viewed.
only.
Read only.
You-
Read only. Well, that. yeah.
I understand what you're saying, password
Right.
breaks, but we can't be changed. No, it's just a document. It's
Right.
available to anybody.
Right,
Anything we produce is
That'll be the
available
next
to
thing.
anybody.
And
Right.
actually,
Even your scribbles.
I wrote one of those things today that reminds us that everything has must be available.
Everything that's there.
Everything is there.
Yes, Dan.
I'd like for the board to consider putting a timeline on finishing this project so Ron can move on to something else. So I'm thinking that if we can say this document is in its end,
final stage.
by the September meeting, so that we could kick off the new fiscal year with the book. We all like.
Let's ask. I mean, before we make that a motion and change the world. Or do we just ask that it be? It doesn't have to be a motion.
He's a hourly, right? So if he needs to work extra, then he
Can
works.
we have it, can we have it by our September meeting? Ron?
Okay, Phil.
We think we can.
It's a team.
It's a-
But here it's go.
You know,
Yeah.
honestly,
No, you can sleep in October.
honestly, even if it's not finalized, if you're comfortable with voting on it in September, you can vote on it in September, because it can always be changed.
Exactly.
And the whole point is, a lot of this work will not have to be done again.
That's the point.
Right.
We'll only deal with
Right.
what comes along, either to change what's here or to add as we go along.
And I do like the timeline, because it forces us into trying to deliver that.
I wanted it to be done by August,
2024.
From him.
or actually last week.
It was pretty. You said it back.
I like it.
Any other questions for Ron? Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it. It's something that we've talked about for a couple of years and I'm glad it's coming together.
Close.
Into the agency items, old and new. I think we covered everything unless there's something anybody wants to bring up. I know we talked about Ron's position and contract position. I'm not prepared to talk about that, but if we want to bring that up, we can. Dan,
Well, I was supposed to be on the agenda. I'm sorry.
I inherited.
The last meeting, we brought it up and there was a disagreement, I believe. Ron had a complaint that he wasn't involved in the directors' meetings. And so I haven't heard anything from that. And do we need to address it? Ron, is it still an issue and do we need to address it?
Well, I had a conversation with Sandy and I think she decided that we would wait until next month when she's here and all that. But yes, it's even, I'm not part of their meetings. Part of what I was supposed to do is be part of their meetings. And until that's the case, yes, it's still a problem for me.
I guess my question, because I don't have a problem telling you whatever you want to know, but when we talked about this contractual position, and if I'm wrong, correct me, my understanding from this seat was that you were a liaison for this board for the county. Because my comment when it came up was, well, isn't that what Nancy is? Isn't that a duplication? I never was under the impression you were a liaison for this board to the directors. So if that changed, I didn't know the contract changed. So that's my question. I mean, I don't know, guys, I don't know if you weren't here when the position happened, but Mark and Lois was.
It was,
Both were here.
it was very much a part of what I.
180 on that one.
Completely opposite.
Complete opposite.
Okay.
The scope is really to me, because public meetings, I mean, liaison, you go to all the public meetings. If you guys are having a private meeting, should the liaison be, if you go to that meeting? That's really what Ron's question was. And it really, I mean, if you guys are the CEOs and depending on what you're talking about, you may not want anyone there. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that because you got a business to run. So you can't have everything 100% open and transparent. And that's just the thing because we don't live in those worlds. I mean, you may have HR issues, you may have whatever it is, whatever going on in those meetings. That's to me the discussion side of it. How much privacy do you need? If you're having a meeting within the four of you on a monthly basis, do you want the liaison sitting with you during that meeting?
Bill, the point is that I am supposed to represent the board. At that, and the directors were very much a part of what I was supposed to communicate with.
No, I
And
understand.
so
So the board needs to decide.
there should be no business.
Either tell you to not or to do it.
There
That's-
should be no
that's what we
business
need to
that
decide.
they're doing
And
that the board isn't.
I don't have.
Yeah, I don't either. Where's the contract? I'm just curious.
Sounds like something that needs to
Because
definitely come before.
That was brought up at the last meeting.
Okay, you all need to have
in
contracts.
Directors meetings. So,
Sandy has talked to Ron. Sandy was preparing something to bring to us. I don't want to shortchange her if she's prepared for a conversation or to discuss it.
It wasn't a long conversation, but
Even if it was a short conversation, I would prefer that it be prepared instead of knee-jerk reaction tonight.
Well, I would just recommend that we try to have a full vote.
yes.
That too. So can we make sure that that's, I mean, it's being documented now. Can we make sure that we address this to Sandy, that this be on the agenda for next month and be prepared for it for next month with what we had agreed to a job description, so we can
Contract.
discuss a contract,
Mhm.
so we can discuss it. Okay.
Is there a way that the contract can be sent to the board of Evanston?
And to the.
And to the entity.
Yeah, I'd like to see it as well. That's our recollection.
Well, we want everybody to be.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's,
I had it last, we saw it. I didn't bring the book today.
so, Mr. Secretary, can we make sure that gets
I really make sure that
the entire, everybody?
Yeah.
And just to kind of reiterate something, I think I can speak for all four of us. We're all happy to meet with you anytime and even have a meeting with you. But when we're meeting with our employees, which is what we do at the beginning of those meetings, and then as we're working through other issues that have not been worked out yet, that's a meeting for us. That's a meeting for us to be able to, like Bill said, figure out how we want to work through things, figure out, what we want to collaborate on things, solutions for things. And sometimes it's, makes sense for, be perfectly fine for other people to be there, you or anybody else. And other times we just want to be able to chat among ourselves. And I don't think that's unreasonable. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I really want to know, like, what are you missing? What does this board miss?
I think
No, but listen, what, you can say that about anything.
Okay.
What is the board missing that we're not delivering? That's the
All right.
question.
We'll talk about it next month. Let's, because I don't know how to approach it. I don't have the contract in front of me. I'm not prepared for discussion.
Send that out.
And we're
Everybody.
gonna go into different directions, and I want to go to another direction.
Yes.
Where's
Erica, you had a meeting, you had something you wanted to say.
Yeah, I forgot during my director's report because I got so excited waiting for your question, Dan. So, I know, I get that. I just wanted to let the board know and my colleagues know, because they may or may not know, I met with Representative Anderson this afternoon. And my purpose was, when I was taking PTO from my day job, working my night job, was up in Tallahassee, and we met with him as a fire commission. And there was talk about special districts petitioning the state to be on their medical insurance plan. So I went to meet with him to ask, hey, we're a special district. I know we're dependent, not independent. What do you think? So they're going to do some research into the state statute. They're going to do some this or that, whatever. They were very open to the conversation. I spent over an hour in his office with him and his aide. So they did request our budget. So I'll send them all 4 of our budgets, public record, not a big deal. But I thought it was a great conversation. Where it's going to go, maybe nowhere, but it may lead us to a conversation with Mr. Burton at the county level. I don't know, but I was just happy that he had the time to meet with some little old person from PHCSA. So I just wanted you guys to know that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, sit down, retiree.
Can you,
And
can you invite? I don't know-
Bring up pensions too?
I don't know who that is.
So Representative Anderson is our district representative in the House of Representatives in the state of Florida. So as a fire commission, I took PTO from this job, we went to Tallahassee, and we just go before them and, hey, this bill, we talk to them about things. And it came up while I was standing there as a fire commissioner that fire districts are trying to find a way to piggyback state health insurance. State has
Okay, so
many
state health
more employees than we
Oh,
do.
I thought it was a fire.
Mm-mm.
No.
through her.
Well, I don't know where to
outside
lead, but yeah,
Gotcha. So it's not us PHCSA going with the fire district.
it'd be fixed to go into
Both
this,
going. to
right,
state.
right.
Oh,
right.
that's-
What I tried to say was,
That's
they're a special
very
district,
sad.
we're a special district. What you're gonna do for them, we'd like to be included. So that's what I,
Excellent.
So that's
didn't hurt to ask the
a
question.
huge plus.
Wow.
So now I would like to put on the floor, I'd like to make a motion. This is really not a formal thing, but I'd like to make a motion not to accept Nancy McKibben
Second?
I second that.
for retirement. Do I have a second?
Fiance, my-
But the board, and I acknowledge our board for putting this together. Nancy, we have something.
She's a jolly good fellow, she's a jolly good fellow. The card fell.
And BJ, so you don't feel left out, this is no slam on you. We don't really know you yet, but
We think we need 2 people.
we think we need 2 people to handle us.
Oh, you're very thoughtful.
Nancy, you've been, and you know how I feel, so I've already explained to her that I'm not accepting this move. So.
I'm not either. I agree. I will not do
But
it.
BJ is phenomenal. I mean, I've met with him a couple times and he's had to sit through 2 meetings where I was up here, so I think he's got the patience.
He's earned it.
You'll get to decide what, by the time I retire. I'll get one of these.
Thank you so much.
Thank
All
you.
of us, all Harper, PHCSA, for our entities.
She's not going out of town. She knows she's still, half her little heart's in Palm Harbor.
You know, I just, more or less didn't just now, but I intended to stay on Main Street, so, I'm gonna stick around a little bit, you know.
So we kept this on the form during the formal board meeting, so it can be acknowledged that we're not letting you go.
And
Now-
Yeah, somebody knows what I'm like.
For that now, I will accept the motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
I didn't, you're right. Shut all my voting.